What is up, everybody? Welcome to, I can't even believe this is a thing, the 14th anniversary of Talk Wrestling. We're here where it all began on NoDQ.com. We're on the Jeff Meacham Network. We're on the Constantine Studios, where it kind of semi-branched into for a while. And, of course, the Greg Cherry brand. There you see that. I'll put that logo up real quick just so you guys can see it. I wanted to choose the same background as I had 14 years ago, which was basically Aaron's wall in the Valley, so I did this. However, it's not a very pleasing aesthetic, and I realized that as I went along here, so I decided to just go ahead and put up a good old-fashioned regular green screen thing. There it is. There you see it. There you go. Talk Wrestling is on the air. First time I've done Talk Wrestling, the show itself, in a little over a month. Again, I took that hiatus. That is continuing on here until August 2nd. You saw in the trailers. We're going to be doing a 4-week little series, I guess, or a panel, not panel series, 4-week little run of shows where we're going to be touring different parts of the country. We'll be filming that starting next week, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the guy who I can't even give this guy enough credit because he came up with the name. It's all his fault. It really is. So if you want to blame anybody for me being around for 14 years, plus the previous 5, it's this guy right here. Aaron Rift, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. Happy anniversary, Jeff, for Talk Wrestling.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy that you and I, about a year after we stopped doing the old Extreme Mayhem video show, we just kind of kicked around a few things. We did a couple of the No DQ video or No DQ TVs or whatever you want to call it with Lee, and then Jay and I did a couple of our shows on that on your channel, and then before too long we had the unfortunate breaking news out of ironically where I'm going, Georgia, in a week and a half or so, that we had the thing with the Benoit family happen, and the lovable and talented Nancy Grace doing her thing on her show, hence the image you see there. And we decided to put me in front of a camera, in front of that wallpaper I talked about earlier, and off we went to the races. It was just crazy that we needed to talk about it because it was a very important news thing, but you yourself hadn't done the whole in front of camera thing yet. So you called on old reliable here, good old JM.
Absolutely. Now, are people familiar with how that name Talk Wrestling was created?
I don't know, because we brought it up briefly, just kind of in passing on the review or the panel a couple weeks ago. People were like, wait, what are you talking about? Aaron had heard, I don't know where, I hadn't heard of the show until I looked it up after the fact. There was a show hosted by this little Dr. Ruth looking old lady who you wouldn't expect to host this show, and it was called Talk Sex. And because we were going to be talking about wrestling, and it's really what it was just talking head here in front of the camera, Aaron went Talk Wrestling, and it stuck. And here I am 14 years later today. It's funny. There was somebody in, I think it was the UK, that trademarked, or not trademarked, but came up with their own version of Talk Wrestling, and our fans were just pissed, like, oh, come on, this guy goes back to 2007, and I haven't heard anything from the other side yet. So it's I'm curious if they shut down or if they changed their name or what. But everybody was up in arms over them daring to take my name away from me. It was so funny. So yeah, Talk Sex. This little lady, no bigger than here. I swear to God, this little unassuming thing, very, very much in the Dr. Ruth thing, who you wouldn't expect to have that sort of discussion show, but she did. It was so funny. And when you look up the shows, it's like, ooh, wow, ours doesn't quite get that descriptive or graphic as hers did. Well, so
it had its moment.
We've definitely had moments in the last 14 years, and I said plus the previous 5. You reminded me this morning that next year is 15 for this show, but 20 for No DQ Media and Extreme Mayhem Raw. I went, oh shit, that's right, 20 years.
Yeah, which is actually your anniversary with the site. I mean, I remember in 2001 you were sending in recaps of shows, but it was 2002 when you officially started as a personality on NoDQ.com, back then when it was the Mayhem.com. That's crazy to think it's almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's wild to me that last year was 20 years since my first WrestleMania, which was, it may have been the first report I sent to you. I don't remember how far. I know I went back to the site from the beginning when it was www.com, but I don't remember sending in reports before WrestleMania because I hadn't been to a show since '94. So I know I didn't send anything before that. But if it wasn't that show, it was definitely 2001 where I went to. I think I went to every show that was in LA or Anaheim except, or in the general area except for Vengeance. I didn't go to Vengeance when Jericho became champion, but I did go the next night to Raw when he defended against Austin in the cage. That was kind of the start of the Austin Booker T thing that really went crazy in a hurry. So,
now, remember back in the day when the fans would chant "what" all the time? I mean, that feels like so long ago, but could you believe WWE? They actually tweeted something.
I saw that.
I was like, people to chant "what" at the shows.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see the reports from the national anthem being sang and them wanting it and going, "Oh God, here we go again." Because I remember Lillian Garcia and Austin both going, "Yeah, our bad, sorry."
Yeah, and Drew McIntyre quote retweeted them with that animated GIF of Jonah Hill doing the.
It's yeah, exactly. It's how you encourage them to what the. I mean, we haven't had a crowd for the WWE performers since before WrestleMania last year, and we're already encouraging shenanigans, which is just terrible. Of course, if you're on my other show, we encourage that.
What's your over and under on how long it'll take for there to be a CM Punk chant on a WWE show?
CM Punk chant, I give it segment 2 or 3. The what chant, I give it 10 minutes. Like not even that. It's just gonna happen.
I think Raw is a realistic time. By that third hour, the fans are going to be tired, and I would not be shocked if we start getting the CM Punk chants or the what chants or the AEW chants. They better be careful because now AEW is on a bit of a roll right now. They drew over 14,000 people so far for their debut show in New York City. That's significant. And WWE Madison Square Garden, they're struggling a little bit.
And I know that WWE's going to Chicago at some point, like I'm going to be in a couple of weeks. And I know the crowd's going to hit them with the Punk chants there. They don't ever not do that. They're always with the Punk. I mean, it's kind of dwindled off the last couple of years, but these people in Chicago have had 18 plus months to build up their frustration, not be able to chant in front of a live audience. So they're going to be hungry. I'm curious to see how it goes. It's funny. Like I didn't realize this when I planned out my little 4 weeks of programming. The day I air my Chicago stuff is actually August 9th, Chris Jericho's debut anniversary in Chicago, which I didn't know until. So yeah, and I found out I can't film in the Allstate Arena or on the property. I guess it's private property or something. The lady told me at the desk, but I can go to the Target across the street and go, "Yep, there it is, way over there." So I'll see how that goes.
There was an encounter with Frank the Clown at that one. Actually, was it Frank the Clown?
Right.
No, it was actually Brock Lesnar guy. Lesnar guy was in the Target, and we were all hanging out there for a while before the show.
It's so funny how rare I've been inside a Target since I lost that job. I just don't mess with the bullseye. I just kind of like, whatever. But if I got to be in their parking lot, I got to do what I got to do. The people around the country have been really receptive to me coming in and, God, like I said, like I told Caitlin, the Cow Palace called me back. We were on the phone for 20 minutes talking about Eddie winning the championship and me reminding him about WCW being, it was a really cool experience. And I'm so happy that's going to happen. A lot of that, I guess Vince would call it chutzpah, but confidence to call these places has been because of No DQ and working with you and doing these things all these years and basically having to handle, for lack of a better term, talent coordination, calling these interviews myself. And, a lot of it's been me. A lot of it was, the other people we worked with back in the day, but I've been, primarily the guy for especially my own self for so many years. So it's crazy how easy it's become. Whereas when we first started, we were nervous, because we had these numbers and we weren't supposed to. It was really like, okay, well, we had these phone numbers, but they don't know, we didn't get them more. So we got turned away by very few people. We got lucky in the early days that very few people didn't just outright just go, okay, you're done. You're a mark. Thanks for sharing. We had a couple
like Goldberg that turned you down.
So, okay. How reliable do you think the report is that it's going to be him and not Brock coming up at SummerSlam? Because I'm getting sick to my stomach thinking about it.
I think it's probably true.
Oh God.
Yeah. It better
be like the opening world title match then, because God, I want to sit all night. Ugh.
I mean, Roman Reigns is going to be the main event. Roman Reigns and Cena. I mean, they're not going on first. No chance in hell of that, to quote
No.
Vince McMahon. So yeah,
Right.
it's probably just somebody for Bobby Lashley to beat, and he's a legend. But my issue with it is that Goldberg lost his last 2 title matches. Why is he getting another title match? It's a bit ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, they have zero credibility in trying to make it viable that he should get a title shot, because he lost clean and quick to Drew, and he lost clean and quick to Strowman, if I remember. So yeah, why is he getting another shot at the WWE Championship when he's been beaten soundly? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But either way, it's going to be a spectacle with 40,000+ fans.
I know, it's going to be wild, man.
For that SummerSlam. And with the fans coming back, at least short term, I mean, tonight I'm the most excited I've been for wrestling in a while. I'm really hyped up.
Yeah, I told everybody, I'm done at 10 till, because I'm going to get ready and watch SmackDown live. I'm not going to wait for 3 hours and get spoiled. I'm watching at 5 o'clock. I'm not screwing around today. So,
and I've already seen the set and everything. It's a giant HD screen, but it'll probably look good on TV. Like, if you remember WrestleMania 35's big screen, it's kind of how that looks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not really the good part about what we're doing, it's just something blocking the shot. Oh, that's what it is. What the hell's blocking my shot here? I'm still getting used to this green screen thing. I haven't done one of these in a while. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what plays out tonight. It's funny that they're coming back to fans before Money in the Bank, because if the rumors persist and John is there, him being there tonight and not there Sunday, or being involved Sunday somehow, it seems like not off kilter, but definitely out of sequence.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, it's possible he shows up next Friday on SmackDown. I would not be shocked.
They're in Cleveland next week, right?
Yeah, and that'll be the first show with the official build to SummerSlam after Money in the Bank. They might not want to bring him back when they got Money in the Bank on Sunday, because right now the focal point is Money in the Bank, not SummerSlam. And then there could be a few other surprises, but yeah, I actually cannot stay on. I just wanted to get on here before we got too close to SmackDown. And congratulate you again on the anniversary of Talk Wrestling, and look forward to next year. That's going to be an epic one. We really got to do something special for that, with it being 2 anniversaries in 2022.
I was going to say, you've got 22 for the site, but our media department, like a better term, has got 15 and 20. So we definitely got to do something big. We are still doing the Money Bank predictions tomorrow night, correct?
Correct.
And that's it. And that's it. And that's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, like usual. What's that?
7.
Okay. So there you go.
We got Slammiversary at 8 o'clock, so I want to make sure people have a chance to get on for Slammiversary. So yeah, thank you, Jeff, and again, congratulations. Have fun with the rest of your show, and I will see you for the predictions.
And make sure you tune in to Aaron's show after SmackDown tonight for a full recap of, in case you miss it. If you miss it, you're insane, quite frankly. But check out Aaron's recap if you miss it, and we'll see you then, brother. Thank you very much.
All right, take care, Jeff.
Take care, Aaron. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. I appreciate Aaron coming on in first thing. I know that I had asked him to come, so thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny he brings up the name of the show. Yeah, I'll have to do my due diligence for next year to have a full spiel, if you will. But yeah, Talk Wrestling came out of a show called Talk Sex. I have to look at the lady's name, but yeah, it was just so funny that it just kind of occurred to us that we were going to be talking about anything and everything professional wrestling. So go ahead and use that. And it's worked to a T so far. Let me get to the comments. I didn't get to before Aaron popped in, which he took by surprise, honestly. So I appreciate that, Aaron. CJ, hello. Congrats on 14 years. Hopefully at least 14 more. Hopefully, we'll see how things go. It's been a up and down, crazy ride. And he says, I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta when I come in next week. Looking forward to it, brother. You, me, and Mr. Shane Pinson will be down at the bar down there, grab or whatever, end up grabbing food, whatever the case may be, because I'm trying to be a good boy on this trip. So we'll see how things go. Let's see who is next. Bill Patterson says congratulations on Facebook. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Brandon says, what's up, Jeff? Glad to see you back again. Just here for the anniversary today for Talk Wrestling. We're doing a simulcast. As I said, we're on the Greg Cherry Brand's YouTube channel, Constitution Studios, which has finished a double header today of 2 Marvel movies, and we'll be showcasing those tomorrow. The replay of our usual show and the second one on my channel tomorrow, and of course, NerdDQ.com. So Greg Cherry Brand, Constitution Studios, and NerdDQ along for the ride today. So thank you very much, everybody watching. Sefit Sibovic, excuse me, pardon my butchering of your name, sir. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Matt Gary says, good to see you, Jeff. Good times watching you both growing up. Jeez. I feel so old when I just like that, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. Radical Romero says, cheers for 14 years. Cheers again for the 14 years and many more. Thank you. I appreciate that. And let's see what else we got here. Dwayne Atkinson says, great to see you two fine gentlemen again. He was on when Aaron was on. Happy 14, JM. Hope another great 14. So am I. Just taking it one day at a time, folks. Like I said, NMC says, happy 14th anniversary. And it wasn't a typo. You are correct. But I'll go ahead and read your comments. It's funny. Been watching for years and enjoy what you have to offer. Here's another 40 more. Yeah, it's definitely not 40. If it was 40, I'd have been doing this pre-conception, which is quite challenging, but I'm trying to pull it off. Ricky Lawson says, I was 13 when I first saw Talk Wrestling. See, Talk Wrestling, when it debuted, I was 24. So there you go. Let's see. One Fall Chance probably be happening on SmackDown. James, our faithful Instagram NerdDQ creators, has been following you guys since WWW days. Been an AOL dial-up era. Oh, yeah. We've been on a long time. That's definite for sure. Our buddy Chris, Mr. Yuck, says, good to see you, Jeff. Where do you see the WWE Women's Division going as we get crowds back? Will Charlotte always be chasing the title? Charlotte will always be in the picture. She will always be a fixture in the women's division as long as she is able to compete, able to perform, and able to deliver the match she's been delivering the past 5 years plus. So, yeah, she will definitely be in the picture, and I look forward to it continuing with her. 6 years, excuse me. That means it's 6 years since she got called up. So, yeah. As far as the whole division, it really depends who they bring in from NXT. It really depends who they start to develop or redevelop in the case of certain people. Like, I still think there's hope with Shayna Baszler. I stand behind that there's hope for her, that she will be able to be salvaged as a character and a performer and be a dominant singles champion once this silliness with Nia and Reginald wraps up, hopefully soon. Tim says hello, everyone. So hello to Tim. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate you along for the ride. Again, we're not looking to go too far past 7:50, 7:55. I want to be done in time for SmackDown to go live at 8 o'clock. And Mr. Yuck also says, do you think Charlotte will stay with WWE? Do you know what's up with her when her contract ends? I don't know her contract status. That's none of my business, and I'm not going to claim I know like other journalists or go off on journalists' word, or that they're actual factual statements, which are not at all. It would not surprise me when her contract does end if she does indeed go over to AEW with Andrade. But I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. I think WWE is going to do everything they can to keep her in the fold. She is a very consistent performer. She is a tremendous talent on either show. She's a great heel. She can work anybody. She's very much like her dad in that respect, that she can work with anybody. And they both come looking like gangbusters. But there's that thing where her significant other, her fiance, is on the other side. So where does that lead her? Does her heart lead her, or does her pocketbook lead her? That is the question. And time will tell. I firmly believe she'll be a WWE for life. But I also thought that about Paul White and Mark Henry. So again, my opinion is clearly jaded in that respect. Don says, here's to 14 more years of Talk Wrestling, sir. Congratulations. Thank you. CJ asks, should they turn Bayley back babyface when she returns during next year? No, I don't think so. I think she is a great heel villain personality. She does very well in that role. She has done well in that role. And the thing with the audience now, and we've talked about this a lot over the years, in the last 14 years, is that the audience is going to cheer who they want to cheer, boo who they want to boo, do what they want to do. It doesn't matter what the company wants. It doesn't matter what the company tries to redirect us into during the Thunderdome era. They're going to cheer what they want to cheer. They're going to cheer for who they want to cheer for, and they're going to do what they want to do within legal reasoning. So if they want to cheer CM Punk tonight, they're going to cheer CM Punk tonight. If they're going to what the crowd like they've been encouraged to, they're going to what? If they're going to cheer for Bayley or cheer for Seth Rollins or cheer for Roman Reigns, that's very interesting for me to wonder about. Is Roman Reigns. It's the first time he's going to be in front of the SmackDown audience on SmackDown, and he has done what they have asked him to do, they being the WWE Universe, for many years, and go full-blown heel. I've also heard that John's going to do the same thing when he comes back, so it'll be very interesting to see if he is there tonight, if he's there on Sunday, if he's there next Friday in Cleveland. They're in Houston tonight, of course. So it's going to be very interesting to see who plays what role, what the crowd is able to dictate into their own whim, and what they where they go between Sunday and August 21st of Summer Sunday. So Dwayne says, do you think they should turn Becky heel to fill Bayley's place as top women's heel on SmackDown? That's an interesting scenario. I wouldn't put it past the company. I think either roster will benefit from Becky's return, wherever she ends up. And I would be okay with her being a villain, but I think the crowd is going to want her back so badly, because I know they do. Because I've talked with a lot of people that are, diehard WWE fans. They want Becky back with all of their being, and I don't see them turning her heel unless it's going to make a huge, monumental, significant touch on the product. And it could be that that's the case, but I don't see them doing it. But again, that's just my view of it. So I don't work for the company, nor have I ever claimed to know anything about anything. So we'll take it for what it's worth. Chris says, with all the rumored NXT call-ups, are there any women you are missing make an impact? Shotzi and Tegan. I love that they're both up. I have been so high on Tegan Nox from the beginning. She's got a great look. She's a great performer. She knows her shit in the ring as far as moves and things. And she's just been an unlucky victim of the injury bug. She really has. She's got a great heart, a great desire to be successful, and there's no reason she can't be. Shotzi's got an unbelievably, undeniably unique look to her, and her presentation is unique. I worry about Ember Moon now, and I'm not going to try to be too negative today, but Ember, again, I'm not caught up with NXT, past Great American Bash, so forgive me if I don't know something I'm about to see here or say here, but Ember Moon kind of gets left in the dust here with Shotzi going up with Tegan instead. So what do they do with Ember? Do they keep her in NXT? Do they call her back up? What do they do here? So, but of all the women being called up, rumors being called up, I definitely like what I see with Shotzi and with Tegan Nox. Ricky says, WWE needs to give Medium a chance. They need to give both her and her hubby a chance. I mean, Keith Lee had an unbelievable first half plus of 2020, and then he just disappeared right off the face of the earth. And again, I don't know the story. Don't really care to know the story. Just I know that they need somebody like him with his attitude and his work rate, and his determination, that they can rely on to be a performer, long term. And Mia definitely. Mia has always deserved a shot. I've been high on Mia since I was helping run a women's centric wrestling company more than a decade ago. She was slated to appear for us, and then we ended up having to fold because of financial problems. But she's been a great talent for many years, and I'm glad she's under contract to the company, and I hope they give her a chance. And if they're not willing to give her a chance, they need to let her go and play her trade at AEW or back at Impact or the NWA or whatever the case may be. She is a solid performer, and she deserves a solid showcasing. So there you go. Chris says Shotzi is hot and a good in-ring tech, man. Her and Nox rock. By the way, Shotzi's NXT theme song by Rick Discgren are schoolmates of my wife. Nice. Surreal when Small Town USA. Yeah, it's been national TV. That's always cool. It's funny that you mentioned that connection. If you look at some of Dolph Ziggler's just random postings on social media and on appearances on YouTube and whatnot, you'll notice he has a Paradise Kitty t-shirt on, just random happenstance all over the place. That's my friend Jenna and her all-female band tribute to Guns N' Roses. You guys, if you follow me for 14 years or more, you know Jenna, you know the band she used to have, Rue, and their song she did, not for us, but we adopted for XMB back in the day that Jenna used on Wrestling Rewind when we come back in October. We've been doing that for a couple years now. So it's very cool to have Dolph, who is quasi-acquainted with me through different events out here in California. Just a great guy and a huge fan of Paradise Kitty, so I dig he's promoting them. It's very, very cool. Big G is here. He says, "What up, brother? Congrats on 14 years." Thank you, G. And again, I do appreciate your understanding as to my not attending your special day and kind of having these other things just kind of fall into my lap is where I'm going in the next week and then next month. So I appreciate your understanding, and I definitely will pay back the friendship and the understanding and dividends when I'm able to count on it. Yeah, it's crazy. 14 years since I sat. Wow, that's a lot of people. 150 people coming to their big day. That's a lot of people for a wedding and reception. So Godspeed on you on that. Thanks. So yeah, I actually did the math a couple years ago. It's really scary that I think about this, but I did. Talk Wrestling was aired for the first time on July 16th. We mentioned that. It was 2 weeks to the day, I'm not kidding, that Dylan was actually conceived. Because we know when he was conceived, and it was 2 weeks to the day after the initial airing of Talk Wrestling. So when I first started doing the show, there was no Stanley Cup in the King's vault. There had not been a World Championship in Los Angeles, Anaheim, for, at that point, almost 20 years. It ended up being over 30 before we got it back. And then there was no child in my future thoughts. So a lot's changed. I just won the World Series last year. Of course, the Kings won 2 Stanley Cups. Woo woo! And I had my son the following April. So and we did a show on that, talking about going to WrestleMania with my dad and going to the Hall of Fame in Disney World. And it's so funny that we're 36 days away from Dad and I taking another trip to a wrestling show. This time we're just going to Vegas, thank God. Going to SummerSlam and see the new stadium. I have heard so many good things about that stadium and how lovely it is. And if you're a Raiders fan, cool for you. If you're not a Raiders fan, you're pissed that Vegas is a great stadium. But what are you going to do? G says, the way of the century, LOL. Hopefully no wrestling shenanigans happen. Yeah, it'd be crazy if somebody ran a Money in the Bank contract and cashed in on one of y'all. That'd be a little awkward, I'm sure. So hopefully nothing happens like that. So anyway, yeah, 14 years that, and it's so funny. If you look at that picture, let me see if I can bring up the, this is the actual picture. This is part of the thumbnail that's on No DQ to this day. Me in that pose. What you don't see down below is my left hand and my left wrist are in a brace because I had ungodly tinnitus hit me at work that week. So I was wearing a brace to counter the effects. And as I said, in the corner over on this side of me was the infamous magazine of Chris Benoit and his family. See if I can make that. Do that. There we go. On the cover of People, and I went way in depth in talking about Nancy Grace and her absurdity and her shenanigans. So it's bizarre to me that it's been 14 years since the terrible events of the last week of June of 2007. But you know, we march on, we move right along, and we keep doing this we're doing. As I said, a lot is coming up. You guys saw it in the preview trailers. You can catch everything at all of our all the outlets. There you see my 4 social medias, as well as the Spring Merchandise Store, Greg's link, the Custody Studios link, and of course our buddy Alexander the Red and our buddy Laura Sens fan over on their exclusive site. And again, starting August 2nd, we're going to be hitting up 4 major wrestling cities. I'm so excited. We're going to be going into Atlanta and into Chicago, and then if it'll there it goes. Hi, and then into San Francisco. I'm going to be going to the Cow Palace while the rest of the family's going to be at Six Flags Celebrate Kingdom. I'm looking forward to that for them. And of course, we'll be in Vegas for SummerSlam, and I'm going to be doing as much of the tour as I can at the various venues, because there's been a lot of venues that have hosted a lot of huge events in Las Vegas. I'm very excited about that. And of course, it all leads to August 21st and SummerSlam, and I'll be in the house as well. The old man, very excited to go into the wrestling show with him at the States again. Today on Renegades Wrestling, or excuse me, Renegades channel, there was a double feature, Renegades reviews for Marvel. You can catch those after I'm done today, and the replays will be tomorrow on this channel in the usual time slot for the replays on Fridays, which won't happen today, obviously, but they'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Excuse me, I take that back. I'm going to be at 7 with No DQ, so we'll air the replays of the Marvel shows prior to tomorrow's news stream. So look for those shows roughly at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific. That'll be for tomorrow's Renegades replays. So check those out. And of course, as I said, tomorrow I'll be making my official return to No DQ. This is kind of just a happenstance thing. I always forget today's the day, but today's the anniversary, so I want to make sure I did it. NoDQ.com's official predictions for Money in the Bank, which of course is Sunday, and that'll be at, again, 7 o'clock Eastern prior to Slammiversary on pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling. And there's the schedule for August. I mean, there's what you're going to see for me once we go back to work. We're going back to work with gusto, my friends. 5 weeks of Talk Wrestling covering either major historical cities. The last Monday, we'll be reviewing the NWA's weekend in St. Louis, of course, with the Power tapings, and NWA 73 and Empower coming up that previous Saturday, Sunday. August 3rd, our exclusive interview with Alexander the Red, which I am so looking forward to having her on the show. We've been working on that for a long time. SummerSlam predictions, NWA predictions, The Great Cherry Show, No DQ Review, ads, always Wrestling, Renegade Reviews Replay, and everything you've come to expect from the Jeff Meacham Network. And also on SummerSlam Saturday, hopefully, if traffic is cooperative, about halfway into Aaron's recap stream, I'll be joining you guys live from Las Vegas. So look for that coming up with me in the very near future. And that's really it. I do appreciate everybody being along for the ride. I stopped a little quicker than I wanted to, but that's totally cool by me. I'm okay with it. So thank you guys again very, very much for being here today. And that's all. Have a great night. We'll see you tonight after SmackDown for Aaron's recap, and tomorrow for Money in the Bank predictions. Have a wonderful night, everybody.